Alright, so there's this thing that I want to show you, and I get your expert analysis on it.
Okay.
I'm sending it to you now on Skype.
Show me your butt. What? Do it, and I'll follow your YouTube and like all your vids. I have to buy your subscription with my butt? Yeah.
What kind of a fucking world do we live in?
Nah, fam. I don't buy shit from her. She buys me. She can work for it. You're gonna bend your ass over for me. I am not giving you shit.
Hey guys, what is happening? It is Vance from Starcom, and for the sole purpose of some people thinking that I'm boring, I need to sound a little bit more upbeat and entertaining, because I'm so boring I need to be a math teacher. First of all, fuck you, dude. Second of all, I suck at math. I would not make a very good math teacher. So with all that out of the way, let's get to the one Warframe you guys just did not want to vote for in any of the polls. That's Nyx Prime. Let me first start off by saying that Nyx Prime has always been a top tier OG. In fact, there's a couple of YouTubers out there who have stated that she has a I win button. And because I believe that this is absolutely true, we're going to be building our build entirely around that, and it's not going to have to rely on any lenses or any arcanes. So I'm leaving that area of opportunity open for you to try anything that you want. In fact, I would encourage you to leave in the comment section the things that you found to work the best with Nyx Prime. I know I'm supposed to be doing the god builds, but in the terms of lenses, I find that maybe Zeddon might be the thing to go to, since she doesn't have a problem with crowds. Maybe Zeddon, you can have it for auto revives. I'm going to leave it open for interpretation, open for suggestions, and we're just going to stick to the builds, the weapons, and the companions that we use for each build. Getting straight into it, I'm of course running Energy Siphon, Coaction GIF, Streamline, Prime Flow, Redirection, Quick Thinking, Chaos Sphere, Overextended, Stretch, and Prime Continuity. All of this build is pretty self-explanatory. We're going to max out our range as much as possible. That way we get the full use of Chaos Sphere. And I felt like I needed to talk about this because this is an absolute essential for Nyx Prime. Anytime you're in the field, you can cast Chaos and instantly make the enemies fight each other. We all know this. We know how remarkable it is, and that's probably why nobody wanted to see this build. However, did you know that when the Chaos Sphere is laid down, it leaves an area that is open for enemies reprocking? What this means is that when they come into the battlefield and they enter the zone of the Chaos Sphere, they will enter the effects of Chaos, making them fight the enemies. So whereas Chaos is a one-time usage, you click it and then everything in the vicinity is confused, Chaos Sphere will make it so the effects stay there for a while, and new enemies entering the battlefield will become confused as well. This is insanely useful for things like excavation, defense, hell, even survival. And I find that it's a lot more effective than Oberon's radiation, because the enemies seem to prioritize fighting each other over you, and that was a big issue with the survivability of the Oberon. Is you could use a smite or you could use a reckoning, but ultimately they're still going to prioritize you over themselves. I was struggling trying to get people to, leave me alone while I was confusing them as Oberon. So this is one thing that the Nyx just does not suffer from. She never really has a problem with crowds because she can always cast this. As far as the other mods go, I'm not going to go into detail. I've not made it a habit to go into redirection, but a lot of people have been upset that I don't use redirection. Personally, I like to use Life Strike and Vitality in my Rage combo. Since the Rage isn't present in this build, I'm going to go with the redirection, and I'm also going to go with the Quick Thinking. The Quick Thinking is going to be complemented pretty well by the Energy Siphon and the Coaction Drift, because if ever you take too much damage and it goes into your health, and your health is no more and the Quick Thinking prevents you from going down, the Coaction Drift along with the Energy Siphon will ensure that you get your energy back very quickly. Okay, so let's just dive straight into our list of recommended weapons here. Now for primaries, I'm not going to list any one weapon in particular because at the end of the day, none of them are going to synergize well. Chaos is a pretty reliant power. In Absorption, you can't use your weapons at all, so it really leaves that doorway of opportunity open for you to try whatever you want. Now, for versatility purposes, I'll always go with Latron Prime. A, because it's pretty good with this build, and B, it comes from a time when Warframe didn't have so many weapons, and, you know, Latron, Burston, and Bratton were the things to go to. And Latron is still one of those weapons that you can go to, especially with this build, considering the fact that you have such a high status rate. Nullifier bubbles are just going to get wiped out. So if you're going to use Latron Prime, I'd primarily focus on attacking them with Corpus, you know, keeping your Argon Scope on here and your status mods, and just cranking up the damage. Now, other weapons that I might use are probably the Dex Sybaris. I'm starting to use the Dex Sybaris more and more because the crits are just absolutely beautiful. The only downside I feel is though the reticle doesn't reflect accurate hitboxes for Dex Sybaris. It's almost as if the reticle itself for Dex Sybaris is actually smaller than all the other guns, because I will actually tend to miss a lot more headshots than what I would if I were using Latron or Burston. You could actually get away with using weapons like Opticore, using weapons like Toncore. Any of these weapons are really going to work, and they're going to suit this build regardless, because there's nothing here that really synergizes. There's nothing here that's absolutely needed. Now, in the way of secondary weapons, again, the case is the same. I could recommend Acrid, I could recommend Lex Prime, I could recommend Hikou Prime, I could recommend Akbronco Prime. There's a variety of weapons that are going to work here, just because nothing synergizes that well. As long as those weapons are capable of taking out level 100s with not too much of an issue, and your playstyle supports it, then I'm going to support your decision in including it in this build. So I will, of course, put up a list of recommendations. And the same thing goes with the melees, except for, you know, I don't recommend too many things differently with Nyx Prime, specifically because Fang Prime seems to be my go-to babies with Nyx Prime. I felt really good about this weapon when it first released. I felt like it was the be-all, end-all melee. It was very quick, it did a lot of damage, it hit crits, and they seem to have nerfed it and slowed it down and made it a little bit less viable, and for the sake of not having to worry about enemies attacking you because of your chaos, it makes Fang Prime worth using again, in my opinion. Any other weapon that you could go to in terms of melee would be like Orthos Prime with a Prime Reach on it. Again, it's a list of weapons that you can recommend because essentially nothing synergizes well. So my final verdict on Nyx Prime is that she is a really good Warframe to bring to any in-game level content. It's just that Mind Control and Psychic Bolts aren't going to go too far in a fight. Not that they're bad abilities or anything, they're just trumped by her third and her fourth. So here's the thing. DE at some point may need to buff these abilities or outright replace them. Either way, Nyx is a good candidate to bring for any mission. So if you like this video, go ahead, like it, share, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. And also check out our Facebook so you can participate in the poll that's currently going on between Saren and Atlas, and participate in upcoming contests. So until next time,